Back to Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and I am super glad that you have joined me this morning because we're talking about the Gravedigger's Ball, baby. We're talking about Laurel Hill Cemetery. Halloween is coming up, and the Laurel Hill Cemetery, which is one of the most famous and historic cemeteries in the entire country, is doing their big event. It's a Gravedigger's Ball. It's huge. I can't wait to learn more about it. This is the best title ever. I love it. I'm going to introduce him. He's Nick McAllister. And then Nick, you got to tell everybody your title.
Director of Development and Membership at the Laurel Hill Cemetery.
Membership director at a cemetery. Now, I know you got to have to understand when that hit me, right? When you talk about a cemetery and your membership, it's like, well, wait a second, like. But no, I'm just poking a little bit of joke there.
Well, the Laurel Hill Cemetery is both an active cemetery, and we're also, I actually work for the Friends of Laurel Hill Cemetery, which is a separate nonprofit to raise money to support the cemetery.
Okay.
So we have membership programs, we raise money, but we still also are a cemetery that still buries people. So,
right.
Yeah, so it's a lot going on there.
Yeah, and it's in Philadelphia, and it's in the East Ball section. It's right near Kelly Drive, and I'm sure. Just been driving through Philadelphia, you've driven past it. This is so weird, right? I'm sure you've heard this before, but it's a beautiful cemetery.
Beautiful.
It really is. Yeah. It's like, and cemeteries to me are like most people. They're like this kind of this thing, right? But Laurel Hill is really kind of doing things different and better, and that's like a really cool thing to see because it really speaks to the tradition and the history of the cemetery. But let's get into the big event, right? Gravedigger's Ball, which I think sounds so cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So the Gravedigger's Ball is our biggest fundraiser of the year. We've been doing it. This is the 12th year we've been doing it. We used to do them in the cemetery, got a little bit too big for it. So now we're at the Crystal Tea Room in the Wanamaker Building. Great
Beautiful
space, gorgeous
place.
Space. It's a masquerade black tie event. We raise, we've raised probably over $1 million over the last however many years.
Wow.
We have about 400 people, 500, hoping for 500 people this year. Dancing, food, auction, everything, and everyone.
Sounds so cool.
Costume contest, so people really go all out for it.
Yeah, it sounds so awesome. It sounds almost like a movie. Yeah. Right? It's the upscale black tie masquerade party. Yeah. That is what I hope I don't have a show that night. What night is it?
It's October 21st this year. It's a Friday, October 21st. Ooh. And it starts at 7 o'clock.
I'm checking my schedule right now because listen, how can you get better than an event? Damn it. How can you get better at an event at the Crystal Tea Room? First of all, just being there is awesome because it's a beautiful place. And if you haven't been there, I urge you to go there. But this party sounds so cool. Yeah. It really, and as you could tell, I do have a show that night, so I'm going to be unable to attend. But I want everybody to check this out. And the easiest way is to go to thegravediggersball.org. And you can do that right now because we're on the internet, right? I tell you all the time. I point up here, open another tab, whoop, right? Thegravediggersball.org, and you can get all the information. And then I'm sure there's a link on there, but if you want to just get information about the cemetery, you go to thelaurelhillcemetery.org.
That's right.
And all the information is there as well. So, I think we should probably mention the ticket price.
Yeah. So tickets are $200 per person. It's actually for other
what
events,
you get,
what it is in the city, it's kind of the best deal going as far as I'm concerned. I've been to lots of other ones at the art museum and the library, and all, and it's a lot of fun. And the money all goes towards the Friends of Laurel Hill Cemetery, a very good cause to make sure that we can continue to preserve the cemetery as it was originally intended to be, to honor the people who are buried there, and to keep it open and free to the public of Philadelphia and the region.
Right.
A gorgeous, beautiful place full of history, full of art and architecture, full of nature, trees, and it's and all the money that's raised from this event goes to support the Friends of Laurel Hill Cemetery.
Yeah, and that's important. He talks about the architecture because it's like it really stands out. It's a very different looking because of how intricate and amazing the architecture is, and that costs money to be able to upkeep. Yeah. And listen, it's old. folks. It's an old cemetery, and they have to constantly be renovating so many different things. But I think that I have to ask right now before we head into a break, who are some of the famous spirits there at Laurel Hill?
Our permanent residents, we like to call them. Well, some of our most famous historically would be General George Gordon Meade, who fought and was the victor at the Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah.
As well as more than 30 other Civil War generals buried there.
Oh, cool.
We have lots of titans of industry. Henry Diston from the Diston Saw Works up in Tacony.
Yeah.
Matthias Baldwin, Baldwin Locomotive Works. Several mayors from Philadelphia, including Fittler, David Rittenhouse. More recent burials include Harry Callis, who is the Phillies announcer, who's buried there.
Okay.
He's probably right now most visited. He's got a beautiful tombstone overlooking the water. He's got a great view. Definitely worth coming out and paying respects to Harry.
That's amazing, and I know that we've got a lot of Phillies fans that are watching that probably didn't know that Harry Callis is buried in Laurel Hill Cemetery, and you can go and check out his gravesite. I imagine you just follow the traffic.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly,
you just follow the traffic in, and look where the biggest crowd is, and that's where you're going to be able to pay some respect to Harry Callis, and I know he was one of my favorites, and I overheard it. I'm gonna put you in the spot, but I know that you're from Boston, you're from the Massachusetts area, and you've been in Philadelphia for about 10 years. Mm-hmm. Did we win you over?
Absolutely. I'm not going back.
Nice.
Not going back.
That's great. Now, the real question is, have you switched your loyalties from the Patriots to the Eagles?
Absolutely.
All right, that's good. He's giving all the right answers,
easy.
folks. So this is what we got to do. We got to support Laurel Hill Cemetery and Nick McAllister, because whether he's telling the truth or not, I think he is, by the way, because he wants to be with the winner. I don't know if you saw last week, and I know Tom Brady's coming back and all that stuff, right? But the Eagles are undefeated right now, and we're going to keep that going against Detroit coming up. But Nick, this is just such a cool event. So again, thegravediggersball.org. Get all of the information there. I got to take a quick break right now, but when I come back, I'm going to talk more to Nick about the Gravediggers Ball and the Laurel Hill Cemetery. So stay right there.
Today's show is sponsored by Hargrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hargrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hargrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hargrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hargrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When we make Beyond Natural dry dog and cat foods, we start with real meat as the first ingredient. We leave out corn, wheat, and soy. And we own where our dry food is made. 100%. Can other brands say all that? For nutrition you can trust and your pet will enjoy. Does your food go beyond? Learn more at purinabeyond.com.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee, everybody. We're here on the Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and I'm talking to Nick McAllister, who's over at Laurel Hill Cemetery. Whoa, there it is. Morning Coffee with Mark Cook. And listen, this event that they have going on Friday, October 21st, is called the Gravedigger's Ball. And here's the deal. It's a upscale black tie masquerade party at the Crystal Tea Room in Philadelphia. This is the event to be at. I am so angry that I cannot be there. I have a prior engagement that night, but this is the exact party that I would want to go to because I've never been to anything like it, and it's just got so much going on. It's going to have the best food available. It's going to have it's one of the best venues in the city, the Crystal Tea Room. You guys are going to be doing silent auctions and all sorts of charity, like raising money and all this stuff. How excited are you for it?
I'm pumped. I mean, there's a lot of work still needs to be done for me personally as staff, but it's really exciting it's going to be a great event as every year. Like I said, 12th year, and it's fun for everyone. So yeah. I'm really excited about it.
Well, and what's cool about it is that it kind of is like it's one of the feature events, but you guys do so much more. You guys have events that happen all year long, really. But I think the fall is probably one of those times where you make a big push because it's towards the end of the year and Halloween time and all that. It's kind of like a nice fit because look, Nick told me off camera, and I'm going to tell you, 75 acres the cemetery is in the city limits of Philadelphia. Do you know how much it takes to upkeep a property that size in a city like Philadelphia? So they have to constantly do fundraising to really make sure that the history and the historical aspect of the park is preserved. So let's talk about that and why I said park and not cemetery.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, in 1836, when the cemetery was founded, the Fairmount Park system didn't exist. It was a retreat from the city. It's 4 miles away from Center City, Philadelphia. It was the country.
Right.
And it was a place that people would go. They'd take riverboat cruises up the Schuylkill, get off at the base where now is Kelly Drive. People would go into the cemetery, and they'd spend all day picnicking, visiting their loved ones who had died, seeing other people, friends, relatives who would also spend time there.
Right.
It was so busy, at one point they would actually issue tickets. In order to get in, they'd have to limit the amount of attendance in the cemetery.
Wow. And that's because it was like a public park, and it was a gathering place, but it was almost out of convenience almost, because they were able to visit their loved ones who had passed on, but then they were also able to congregate and connect with the people that were still with them. And I just think it's a really interesting dynamic for people to understand the historical aspect of it, because look, it hits you weird. It does, and it's always, cemeteries have always been an interesting thing to me. I find them intimidating. I find them mysterious. I find them a lot of things, and I think a lot of people have a hard time putting words to how they feel about cemeteries. We know that they're important, and we need to properly pay our respects to our friends who have passed on, but it's an interesting thing. So what do you say to people that kind of say the things that I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think that part of it is, I think by making sure that it's a place that that people visit, is making sure that it's a place where these people are still being honored.
Yeah.
As I said, as we talked about before, that it really was the original intention that it was a place that people came to and visited and saw, and ideas about death change over the course of time.
Right.
The Victorian era in America were in some ways obsessed with death, very comfortable with the idea it happened all the time.
Right.
And so it wasn't disturbing or creepy or eerie. It was
Right.
A place where they would go to feel closer to people that they loved. So
Yeah.
I think in that vein, we kind of honor that tradition by doing programs, by encouraging people to come and visit. We have over 100 programs every year, including concerts, plays, obviously our tours, lots of Halloween tours. We just had the Dead Milkmen, who's a punk band from the 80s. They played. They had sold 1,000 tickets. They played in the cemetery.
Oh, Dead Milkman, Bitchy Camaro. Is that the Dead Milkman?
Yeah, Punk Rock Girl.
Bitchy Camaro. I want me a Bitchy Camaro. Oh my gosh, that's like 7th grade. That's awesome.
So they're great. They're big fans of Cemetery. That's kind of why they wanted to do it there.
That's cool.
But all sorts of other things, including this fall we have lots of like nighttime tours. We have an event called the Soul Crawl. They're flashlight-led tours at night on the 14th and 15th of October at 7 o'clock. We have an event called True Tales from the Tombs, which takes place on October 28th. And it's there's actually actors who play some of the people who died in the cemetery, telling their stories from beyond the grave.
Actors, eh?
Actors.
Maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and actually, you mentioned that Murder Mystery tonight and tomorrow. Thursday and Friday night this week we have a Murder Mystery theater taking place in the cemetery. As well.
Cool.
Yeah. So
now, we'll have to talk offline about that too, because I think that maybe a different company needs to come in next year. But we'll talk. We'll talk about that. That's quite all right.
Sure. So yeah, but lots of things. Again, it's just if you haven't seen it, don't think of it as a regular cemetery. It's really so much more than that. It's so much history. It's just a naturally beautiful place. And I think every time people come and see it for the first time, they say, why is this the first time I'm coming here?
Right.
And I absolutely encourage everyone to come there as well.
And you know what? The easiest thing to do is just to go to thelaurelhillcemetery.org, and you can get all of the information, all of the historical facts, and all of the technical specs and all that stuff. That's all up on the website. You can get locations and all that stuff. And what I think is cool about it is that it's still open all the time. You can go anytime and just check it out. And we had mentioned in the first segment that Harry Callis is buried in the cemetery. So if the only reason you need to go to check them out is to go see Harry Callis's final resting place, then go do that. Because the bottom line is you just need to check it out. Because once you check it out, you're going to be like, whoa, we've had this little hidden gem here in Philadelphia since 1836, and not enough people know that they can take advantage of the space.
And it's free. It's free admission. We're open 7 days a week. You can check the hours on our website. But it's really it's worth checking out. Obviously all the programs, most of the programs, there's an additional cost. But for regular admission, please drive in the day. We're on Ridge Avenue is the main entrance, and also one on Hunting Park Avenue. Yeah, it's worth.
Yeah, I mean that's easy to get to from Kelly Drive. I mean, you guys know that East Falls area. It's a beautiful area, and really the landmark of it and the centerpiece of it is the cemetery. It's Laurel Hill Cemetery. So here's my idea, right? Take your kids there. There's all this history, right? You've got General Meade there and all sorts of Civil War generals. Go there. It's free. Bring your smartphone and teach your kids about history. You could be like the tour guide. I'll let you borrow one of my goofy hats, and you can walk through the cemetery and tell your kids all about it like you're on a tour. It's such a great idea. It's a free thing to do with your kids anytime.
Absolutely. And we do have one more event I just wanted to push, which is on October 30th, we have our Fall Family Day. So it's just the day before Halloween. We encourage kids to come dress in costume, little parade, and it's a lot of fun. So definitely come out for that on October 30th.
Now, I want to make sure that if I go to thelaurelhillcemetery.org, I can see a calendar of events and all that stuff.
All the events that we have in any given year are listed on the
Perfect.
website.
So how easy is that? They even made it easy for you. Just go to thelaurelhillcemetery.org to get the master calendar and to learn all about the cemetery and all that stuff. But the gravediggersball.org is going to get you information about the event on Friday, October 21st at the Crystal Tea Room in Philadelphia. It's going to be fantastic. I think what I'm going to have to do, Nick, is you're going to have to come back after and bring me some pictures and tell me all about it and all that stuff, because I'm so into this.
I'm sorry you can't be there.
Yeah. Well, let's not. But the wheels are turning back here. All right, so let's not count our chickens yet. But I got to take a quick break here. I'm already. But I'm going to come back, and we're going to wrap things up with Nick McAllister from the Laurel Hill Cemetery. So don't go anywhere.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. the way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to the Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and I'm talking to Nick McAllister, and Nick just told me the craziest fact off the air, that they do over 130 events.
116 we did this past year. Yeah.
116, 130. Man, you hit me at 100. Anytime you do over 100 events, you're talking about one every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing, and that just proves how in tune they are and how in touch they are with the community and how they want to be a part of the fabric of Philadelphia and the society, because it's a historical landmark, this cemetery. And it's important to be able to preserve that history. And the way they do that are through the donations of the generous people out there. So they have to have these events, and people come and very generously donate their time and their talent and their money to make sure that the cemetery is preserved and improved and continues to be the amazing place that it is. So let's run through the events real quick that we have coming up in October here, because nothing better than your events at Laurel Hill during October. It's just the right time, the right setting, the right mood, and all of that stuff. So let's start with what's coming up the rest of this week. I'm looking at today is October 5th, right? Yep. So let's project out for the rest of the month.
So the 6th and 7th of October, we have Murder Mystery in the cemetery. You can still get tickets for that. I think Friday actually might be sold out, but Thursday's still available. Saturday is actually our annual 5K run. It's the Rest in Peace 5K. There's still tickets, registration closed, but you can still get them at the door if you want to come and check it out. We have 200 and some runners this year.
Cool.
3.1 all entirely inside the cemetery. Again, all the money raised goes to the Friends of Laurel Hill Cemetery.
That's great.
Then the 14th and 15th of October is the Soul Crawl nighttime Halloween themed tours. October 28th is the True Tales from the Tombs October 21st is, of course, the Gravediggers Ball.
Yeah.
I
thought maybe we were going to save that one for the end.
and then October 30th is the Fall Family Day.
Yeah,
So.
and the Fall Family Day, they do that right before Halloween, and it's like it's just a great way to bring all the kids out, and you can wear costumes and do all sorts of fun. They have games and music and food and all sorts of stuff out there. It's just a way to showcase the historical side of the Laurel Hill Cemetery and how important it is to make sure that that stays preserved. But this event on the 21st sounds like the coolest thing that, I mean, I didn't know you guys have been doing this for a couple of years. You used to do it at the cemetery, but it's the Gravediggers Ball, they call it. It's at the Crystal Tea Room in Philadelphia. If you've ever been there, if you've ever heard of it, you know it is the primo venue in Philadelphia. It's where all of the top events that happen in Philadelphia, that's where they are. They're at the Crystal Tea Room. And it's Friday, October 21st. It's black tie. It's an upscale masquerade party. It's just it just sounds cool. It's mysterious and sexy and fun, and it's got so much going on. It's just so awesome. And I just looked at my schedule, and now I might be moving things around to make sure that I can get there. Tickets are $200 a person, but it's a real bargain because the food is going to be fantastic. Wait till you see the spread that they put out for you, and the money goes to a good cause. It's to make sure that the cemetery stays preserved. So here's what I want you to do, Nick. This is kind of like a tradition that we have here on Morning Coffee. We've given a lot of information out. We've said, I've tried to repeat some of the important stuff over and over again, but what I want you to do right now is to look into camera 3. I'll shut up, and you can just say whatever you want to say. I hope it's about Laurel Hill Cemetery or the Gravediggers Ball, but I will say right now that the time is yours.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Mark. Please, I encourage you to come out if you've never been to Laurel Hill Cemetery. There's 75 acres, more than 75,000 stories of people buried there. I think one of them will connect with you in some way. It's free admission. It's open 7 days a week. It's definitely worth coming to. And if you have the chance, please come out to the Gravediggers Ball on October 21st.
Beautiful. So check them out. You can do the gravediggersball.org, or you could do thelaurelhillcemetery.org and get all the information you were going to need. Nick, thanks so much. It was great meeting you.
You too.
Best of luck with the event
Thank
and
you.
the rest of all the other stuff you have going on.
Yeah.
Your head is going to be spinning for the next few weeks, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Right? We gotta get everything done.
It's
so
all fun. It's all fun.
That's it. So make sure you check out those websites I just gave you. I got to take a quick break on Morning Coffee. Right? I got to yeah. I got to take a quick break. I don't know what's happening here. Something's happening in here. It's weird. So I'll take a quick break, but I will be right back here on the Radio Vision Network. Don't go anywhere.
Today's show is sponsored by Hardgrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hardgrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hardgrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hardgrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hardgrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.